Hey there, Trevor here from Double Bill Movies. Well, guess what I've got in my hands? I have the new second sight 4K of Hitcher, a film I've never seen before, starring Rutger Hauer. So I shall be watching this tonight and I will do a review for it. Now if you hear a dog barking, it's not my dog, it's my neighbour's dog, and it's called Snafu. So hello Snafu. Anyway, let's get into this. And we'll have a look. I'm sure I'm not the first channel to do an unboxing, but I like to do it because this is not out until Monday. It's currently Thursday and it did arrive for me yesterday. J-card, all the information. And that's all the stuff we have in here. Quite a lot of stuff in there. Really nice feel to it. It's all nice and straight, no dings or dents, which is good. It came in quite a big box. I was like, I didn't order that much. Okay, so we have some art cards. And they're blank on the other side. So let's get. Now, if you ever get these and you like to keep them in there, but you like to have a look at them, best thing to do is take a couple out from the middle, and then you'll be able to slide the paper off really easily. And then you basically do the opposite when you want to put them away again. I'll show you. Okay. So this first one seems to have a bit of a funny edge on it, but all silhouettes. Well, not all silhouettes, but Mr. Hauer. Looks like a second sight weren't allowed to do too much with artwork. It's not boring, it's very simple. They haven't gone to town with it. There we go. So like I said, I've not seen the film, so I don't really know who it is we're looking at. Right, here are the discs. We have a 4K and a Blu-ray. It's a 4K and there's the Blu-ray. That is the back of that. So a little digibook type thing. Now we've got a perfect bound. Oh my, she's a bit nicked up. That's not good. Perfect bound book. Nice and thick. Script by the looks of it. Yes, that is definitely script. Really interesting read once I've seen the film. And then we have a hardback book. What's that got in it? Lots of information. About the film. There's that smell. Camera crew. More crew shots. So kind of behind the scenes essays and photos and whatnot. Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a closer look. So I shall now watch this and I shall come back with a review and some pictures off my screen, and you can see how good it looks or how bad it looks, but I imagine it looks really, really good. if you sort of look at the pictures and you think, hang on, why does mine not look like that? Might be to do with your TV settings or your projector settings if you have a projector, which I highly recommend you get. They are amazing things. But I shall put in a description below a list of settings that help optimize the picture quality on your TV. Anyway, now let's go to the review part. Wow, there we go. The Hitcher on 4K. Well, what a first watch. It's a crazy film, quite the wild ride actually. I didn't know what to expect, obviously. As I said, I've never seen it before. But I'll give you my theory on what I think is exactly going on at the end of this video, so that by the time you finish watching this video, if you haven't seen it yourself and you don't want it spoiled, then I won't spoil it for you. But it is a very, very grainy film, so expect a lot of grain. If you have the contrast on your TV or projector set too high, or if you have sharpness active, it's really, really going to exacerbate the grain. So make sure the contrast is set correctly. I'll leave a list of TV settings in the description below, and make sure your sharpness is off. Yes, it still looks nice. You know, it's not the most vibrant color palette, but it's supposed to be in the desert and stuff like that. Now, I think this is done in Dolby Vision. Let me just double check. Yeah, Dolby Vision. I don't have the capability of doing Dolby Vision because projectors, as of yet, I think there's one or two out there, but as of yet they don't really do Dolby Vision. So and there's no HDR10 on this. I checked my player, there is no HDR10, so I just had regular HDR. So I can imagine with the Dolby Vision the image does look ever so slightly better than what I saw, and I can imagine on your TVs and your OLEDs it will look really nice. But I'm watching it on a 106-inch screen, basically blown up like you would have seen it in the cinema, and so I saw it pretty much as per cinema. Now, I initially was going to go with the stereo audio because when I watch a film for the first time, I try and go for the original audio. But I saw the Dolby Atmos and thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. I wish I hadn't. What a pointless thing, putting Dolby Atmos on this film. Now, I don't have ceiling speakers, so I'm not going to hear if there's any sounds above, but there isn't really anything going on in the surround channels. So it's utterly pointless. Just stick with the 2-channel stereo. So these pictures that you're sort of seeing throughout this video, while I was finding what I wanted to take pictures of, I had the stereo sound on just to give it a go, and it sounded so much better, much more full, and just much more dynamic. Didn't really get anything out of the Dolby Atmos at all, so even though my amp sort of downscales it to 7.1, pointless. So you know, I don't like it when all these channels and people say, oh, I really hope they put Dolby Atmos on it. No, Dolby Atmos is for new films. If they can go back to if it was like a Star Wars type film and they can go back into all the different sounds and create a entirely brand new mix, then yes. But you know, when they do these ones, they don't necessarily get to go to all the individual sounds. They just get the stereo sound and get to sort of push it and pull it around and place it in different channels, but that's it. So stop asking for bloody Dolby Atmos when there's no need for it. The original stereo is great, or if it's modern enough, the original 5.1 is great. Yeah, so no more Dolby Atmos unless it's a new film, unless it's come out in the last 10 years. So, you know, you might think differently, you might hear it differently, yeah, so what can I say? It's gritty. It's a bit off the wall, let's say. I think I worked out what was going on fairly early, and within, obviously near the end, I was a bit unsure if I'd come to the right conclusion. But yeah, so basically it's about a guy who's driving a car which is called a drive-away. Basically there's a company that they obviously need to move cars around the country, and if you want to go to the destination of this car, you can deliver it for them. So he's sort of driving along the highway. He gets overtaken by someone in a VW Beetle, sort of pays no mind to it, and we see him sort of slowly drifting away to sleep, but he sort of tries to keep himself awake in this, that and the other. Anyway, he picks up this Hitcher, and he starts acting a bit weird and not really answering his questions and that sort of thing. And you just think, okay, this Hitcher guy is just a psychopath. He's just doing all these weird things, and we come across the Beetle again, and it's been abandoned. And later on, when he's managed to sort of get the Hitcher out the car and he thinks he's safe, he's following a station wagon which has a boat on a trailer, and there's kids in the back. They're obviously going on holiday somewhere, and the kids have got toy guns, and they're sort of pretending to shoot him and everything, and he's pretending to shoot back. And then all of a sudden the Hitcher sits up in the back of the car, and he's with the kids, and so he pulls up next to the car and he tries to say to him, you know, this guy's a nutcase, pull over. So they sort of pull over, and he carries on, but then later he has a bit of a sort of an accident. The Hitcher's suddenly in a truck, and he hits him up the back a few times and causes him to kind of crash. But then at some point, once he's caused him to crash, the Hitcher just sort of veers off onto a dirt road, and we don't see him again. So it's all sorts of weird behaviour. So the guy driving the car, he carries on, and he comes across the station wagon, and that's been abandoned. And he goes up to investigate, and there's blood and stuff dripping everywhere, and causes him to throw up and all that kind of stuff. And he gets to a diner, having just been in another encounter with the Hitcher, and the Hitcher's driven over the gas pumps in a gas station, and there's fuel everywhere, and he sort of throws a match at him, and the kid manages to drive away with a flaming car and all that sort of stuff, and he ends up at this other restaurant diner type thing, and this pretty young girl, so she's just opening up, and he says, oh, let me in, and she won't let him in because it's not quite opening time, but she lets him in. Basically she lets him go and wash because he's covered in fuel. She cooks him a burger and some chips, and at one point she says she's got to go and put some stuff in the freezer, and she wanders off. And he's eating the chips, and she doesn't come back for a while, and he's sort of thinking, well, where's she gone? And then all of a sudden he's realised he's got like a finger in his hand. And so yeah, there's some weird goings on. At this point the police turn up, and then we see the girl again, so she reappears, and you sort of think, oh, what's going on? But later on, the girl gets in a very bad situation. Basically the Hitcher's managed to get her, and he's got her hands tied to the trailer of a lorry, and he's got her feet tied to the cab, and he's going to pull her apart. Yeah, it's very weird but very cool kind of film. And if you haven't seen it, I suggest you get yourself a copy and go and watch it. So yes, now I'll just tell you what I think's happened. So like I said, if you haven't seen it and you don't want it spoiled, then give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you for the next video. But so my thoughts are basically, he's either in a dream. I mean, that seems fairly obvious at the beginning, when you realise he's falling asleep. Not necessarily at first when he picks up the Hitcher, but after a while I was like, yeah, he's either died, or he's close to dying or whatever, or he's falling asleep and this is just some nightmare he's having. Because there's another scene where he's in another diner and the Hitcher comes in and he sits in front of him, but the kid says, oh, I've got a gun and it's under the table, but the Hitcher says it's empty, you know, you haven't got a gun. And the kid says to him, what do you want? What are you doing? And he says, see if you can guess. And he puts 2 coins on his eyes. Now, usually that means that someone's dead, doesn't it, sort of thing. But then later on, when the police and that interact with the Hitcher and they arrest him and everything, you're sort of like, well, what is going on? It is a bit weird. So maybe it's for our interpretation as to what we think is going on. And because at the end, you know, we see him, the kid, and the credits kind of roll, and you sort of think, well, okay, did he survive? Did he dream it? Throughout the film, the police keep saying they're after him because he's a killer and all this kind of thing. So there's a lot going on, but it's a really good film. It's really well shot. The score is really, really impressive. It really complements the film, and yeah, I highly recommend it. You know, if you can get yourself this lovely 4K box set from Second Sight, then yeah, definitely go for it. As you saw in the unboxing part of this video, the script in this book here, I'm gonna have to sit and read it, because yeah, see if I can get any more out of it. But it's a lovely box set. Don't bother with the Dolby Atmos, go with the stereo, and just go along for the ride. So I imagine the reason it's so grainy, it's just the film stock that's been used, all to do with lighting, and it was kind of a little bit luck of the draw with a film as well sometimes. So you could buy, you know, if you might watch a film and one scene is amazing, one scene's really grainy, and that could just be the film stock, not necessarily how they lit it or that kind of thing. But anyway, let me know if you've seen this film, if you're waiting for your copy of this. So it comes out on Monday. Where are we now? So I'm recording this on a Thursday. And yes, like I said, I got mine yesterday, which was Wednesday. Was hoping to do this video then, so you could see it Thursday night, but now you're watching it and it's Friday. But you know, that's the way it goes. Anyway, I hope you found that informative. I hope I didn't spoil it for you too much if you hadn't seen it. But yes, I hope the pictures helped you realise how good it does kind of look, even though it is quite a grainy film. Anyway, till the next video, like I said, give us a thumbs up, like and subscribe. I'm almost at that 1,000 subscribers. Would be really cool to make that, especially off the back of this video. That would be great. Until the next one, take it easy.